Hi everybody, it's Cheryl. I am making this video for you all today because I've gotten a lot of requests for tutorials on making e-notes. So I have to make one today and I thought this would be a great opportunity to offer a tutorial. So right now I'm on the Constant Contact login page. I will provide you all our login info separately from this video, but mine is saved, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. I hope you can see the screen. Maybe I'll see if I can make it a little bigger. How big can we get? Okay, so here I am at the dashboard page. The first thing you will see are either sent or draft e-notes that have already begun or have been sent out. There will be little notations under each that describe what stage of the process we're in. This one says draft. I think we ended up not sending this, so I will probably go ahead and just delete this. Let me try and get this a little closer. How's that? Okay, so we're going to delete this e-note. But the majority of these should be all sent. This one is a freelancer to firm owner. As you know, we did not hold that seminar, so it looks like this one didn't go out. But most of them are sent. So here's a place you can also press view all to see e-notes that we've sent in the past. If you wanted to send out an e-note that is similar to one that we've already sent out, you can go to these three dots right here. And oh, maybe not. There should be a way to replicate, but I'm not really sure. They've changed the whole platform, so it's slightly different. Oh, here, you just hit copy, and then that will make a copy of the e-note. So you just pick one, and then you pick copy, and you can go ahead and use the same properties as that e-note and then make it your own. But for purposes of today, we're going to create an e-note from scratch. So we're going to go to this button up here that says create, if you can see that. So I'm going to hit that. So it will say select a campaign to get started. The only thing that I use this program for are sending out emails. I've actually never used any of the other functions. So we're going to go ahead and hit email. This is what we usually use to send out e-notes. Okay, so this is going to take us to a page where they offer us different templates. So you have a couple options. You can look under standard. It will have some really basic outlines, and then usually what it will offer you are e-notes that are relevant to the time of year that we're in. It's December 4th today, so you will see that most of these e-notes have Christmas or holiday themes, Hanukkah, Festival of Lights. This one is more for New Year's. So if you wanted to send something that was festive, you have some choices here. But once you skip the festive stuff, you'll see that it will start getting more basic. So here's some New Year stuff. But then as you go down, you start getting more basic templates. And these are mostly designed for companies. There's some realtors here. And things like that. So I usually pick one of these templates that's eye-catching, but still, you know, not too fluffy. I mean, we're a professional organization, so I try not to send anything that's too flashy, but we could do something like this. Let's pick this one, the Valley Realty one. So I'm going to select that. I just click on it, or I have a touch screen, so I touch it. So where it takes you is to the editing page. So the first thing I'm going to do is title this campaign. Now, this title is an internal working title to help the users of our particular Constant Contact account know what the eNote is about. This is not anything that the public will see, so it doesn't have to be anything really professional. I just try to be descriptive so that when I log into Constant Contact to the dashboard, I know what kind of eNote each eNote is. So this one I'm just going to name AB5 because this is regarding the AB5 bill that we are currently grappling with. So I'll just put AB5 and I press save. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this box up here. This is what the public will see, this right here. So if you click on this, either with your mouse or with your finger, there's a subject line. And I don't know what the subject line is. So just as some background, I was provided a Word document that has the body of the eNote in it. So I'm going to go back to that Word document that I already have open and figure out what kind of title I'm going to give to this eNote. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to make up a title for now and come back and figure out whether it's accurate or not. But I'm going to put exemption from AB5 deemed top priority for Caldra in 2020. So that's the title that I've chosen. I may have to get that revised, but for now that will do. The next line says pre-header. So I'm going to erase what they have here. A pre-header is something that people will see, for example, in a Gmail inbox. Let me show you in Gmail. When you open up Gmail, see how you can read a little bit of what an email says. If this email says great news, that's the title, and then it says yes, that really is good news, smart decision, blah blah blah. So a pre-header is something like that they will see in their email inbox before they click on it. So usually what I will choose for the pre-header are just the first few lines of the email, just as a teaser. So I'm actually going to use this title here, and I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it into the pre-header. Oh, of course, but it's all in caps. Well, let's see. Maybe I'll just pick this first line so I don't have to retype all of that. Okay, so I'm just going to pick the first line of the email. The next thing is the from name. So this says from DRA of CA. I prefer to use of California, DRA of California. I'm sure you're wondering why we don't do Deposition Reporters Association. That is because email programs think they're funny and they love to cut that off. So it just reads Deposition Reporters ass. So we don't use that. And we've tried Caldra before, but we feel like DRA of California, more people know and understand what that is than Caldra. So that's the from name that we use. You don't need to worry about this from address and reply to address. That's already set in stone. So we press save here. So now you can see at the top, those changes I made here are here. Okay, let's see. How can I get this so you can see the whole screen? Okay, so now we are in the eNote and we want to edit it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace anything that obviously does not relate to our profession, which is almost everything in this eNote. So by clicking on things, you have functionality to delete them. Our colors are usually blue. So this red line, it's kind of jazzy, but I'm going to click on it and I'm going to change the color of this line to a nice DRA blue, so it's more in line with our logo. And then I press done here. Now this Valley Realty logo, obviously we're not going to be using that. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to hit replace. There's a replace button right here. So I hit that and we have a whole gallery of saved pictures. So I'm going to type in logo and see what I get. So I get a whole bunch of different logos that we have available. I'm just looking for our standard logo, which is right here. So I'm going to click on that. Then it takes me to this page. Ugh, why are you being difficult? I don't need help, thank you. So here, you have a couple options. I don't know if you can see those. I'll zoom in here. Edit or insert. I'm going to press insert. So if you look here at the top, here's our logo, but that's pretty small, right? So we want to make this a little larger. If you look at it, it looks pretty pathetic. So if you hover your mouse over the logo, there are, here, hold on. There's some arrows. See those? So we're going to click on those. I've got to put my phone back to its holding place. So I'm going to click on this. Here we go. And I'm going to make this nice and large so everybody can see it. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take this language here that says your feedback is essential, and we are going to tailor that to language that we want. So here's where I'm going to use this title. I'm going to leave it in caps for now. I may change it later, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paste that in. Okay, so now we have a working title. Now I need to go back to this Word document and I'm going to cut and paste all of the language here so I can put it into the body of the e-note. Now, I sent an email to you folks a few days ago about receiving a Word document to put into an e-note that's redlined and has all kinds of additions, corrections, deletions in it. The reason that's really frustrating is because it takes some time to take e-note, to make the e-note, but it takes even longer to get all those corrections inputted. So oftentimes I'll have to spend 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes even, fixing up this language so I can just cut and paste it straight into the e-note. So that gets a little frustrating. So hopefully maybe this will make you understand why that's so imperative, because I'm going to come back here and I'm going to highlight this language and instead paste our language in here. So if the language is not perfect and ready to go, then it becomes very difficult to make the e-note. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to left justify everything, because this is a very long e-note and I think it will be difficult to read if it's all center justified. It doesn't look very good. So I'm going to highlight all the text. And if you look up here, see this right here? We're going to click on the arrow and we're going to left justify. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look at this. First of all, this whole thing needs to be in bold because it's quite difficult to read. So I'm going to bold everything. And then obviously some edits need to be made here. So I'm going to have to do some things to edit this, which are really not that important. It's very similar to using a Word document. You know, you've got all of your functions here. You can change the color of the text right here if you want. You've got, of course, your bold, italic, underline buttons, your font button, your justify buttons. These are for bullet points. This is for linking. So if you look right here, let's say I wanted to link something. Oh, here, I'll give you an example. Our logo, we always like to link it to the Caldra homepage. So I'll click on it, and then I'll press this link button that has the chain links, link. And I'm gonna link it to a web page. And I type in www.caldra.org. Insert. And now you can see that the link button is blue. That means that that portion is linked. Okay, so I'm not going to bother you with the ins and outs of formatting this, because I think that's pretty self-explanatory, and I'm happy to go over that with you in person if you have any questions about it. But one thing I do want to cover here are different ways to edit the e-note for style purposes and color and whatnot. So the first thing we can address is this background here, this black background, which is fine, it looks fine, but let's say we wanted to change that. We go over here, see there's a whole column here that has all these different buttons: image, text, button, divider, and I'll show you how to use some of those. But we also have 3 tabs up here: build, images, and design. So we're going to go to design because background is a design feature. So we'll click on that, and you have some options here. So you have the color of the outer background. That is actually this, I believe. See this writing and the background of the writing? I believe that that's what this color is referring to. So let's change that first and see what we get. Let's try this DRA blue. Oh, no, I was wrong. That is just the regular background. Okay, so I was wrong. That is this background right here, and that actually looks really nice. It's a nice contrast, right? So maybe I will keep that. And then you also have an option to change pattern. So here, change pattern. You can look at different patterns. Maybe you want polka dots. Maybe you like these chevrons, stars, etc. We have all these different options. I like these actually. Maybe this. That's too busy. But anyway, you can look at all the different options you have. I feel like flowers are too feminine, but it's kind of cute. Maybe too busy. Let's try stars, because we're stars, right? Okay, so that's how to change the background there. Let's say we wanted to put a picture here. A good picture for an e-note like this that revolves around legislation is a picture of the California Capitol. That's one that I use pretty frequently. I think it helps people to get a sense of what we're talking about. So let's say I want to put an image in here. So we're gonna go to these boxes here on the side. There's this image button here. This is gonna be a little tricky for me. Hold on, I'm gonna have to back it up so you can see everything I'm doing. Okay, so this button that's here, see it, image? I'm going to select it, and I'm going to drag it, and I'm going to put it right underneath the title. There you go. Now I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to press edit. Now again, it's going to bring me to my pictures. You can search for something by typing it in. I'm going to type in capital and see what I get. Oh, and look, as I mentioned, I've used this picture, this type of picture many times before. So I'm gonna pick my favorite one. I think it's this one. Select it. Then we are going to insert it. And there you go, there's your picture. And again, it's kind of small, so we're gonna hover over the picture, and there's some arrows that pop up right here. We're going to use the arrows to make the picture larger. Okay, so there we go. We have this nice title and picture. Then we have all of this great text. Now I need to delete some of the stuff at the bottom. We don't need this gentleman here, right? And we don't need share your feedback. So we're gonna click on share your feedback, and there is a trash button. We're going to delete it. Okay. We don't care about this guy's loyalty and valuable time. We're going to delete that. This visit our website we don't need. We're going to delete that as well. And then this stuff, this is our link to Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, although I don't think we have a LinkedIn. Maybe we do. I'm going to center justify this. And, well, I'm going to leave that there for now. And if these buttons do appear, they will already automatically be linked to any social media pages we have, so you don't have to worry about that. All the stuff at the bottom, you don't have to worry about either. This is already built in. You don't have to edit it. Just leave that alone. It just says Deposition Reporters Association of California, Inc. Let's say I wanted to put in some requests to, for example, donate to the war chest, because that's a great one. So I'm going to go back to this images button, and I'm going to insert that. So I'm going to drag and drop it, and I'm going to put it underneath the text. See that pink line that denotes where it's going to go? So I want it right here. Okay, so that's a text box right there, or an image box rather. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to press edit. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search for our war chest picture. So we have a couple different options. I like this one, this make a contribution to the DRA war chest. I'm going to select it, and again, insert it. Okay, so here we have this. Now the important thing is that it's a clickable link. So I'm going to click on the picture, and I'm going to link to a web page. Now, I happen to know the war chest link by heart. It's www.caldra.org/war chest. So I'm going to insert that. And now that should be a clickable link. Another thing you could do is, for example, that template, had a button that said share feedback. Let's say you wanted something like that, or like register today. You can select this option here, button, and you can place that right here, and then you can choose, by clicking on it, you can choose what kind of text you want to have. You can put like, why is this not typing anything? What's going on here? Register today. Okay, you could do that. And then you could link it to caldra.org. Okay. And then you could press done, and then you would have a clickable button right there, but we don't need that, so we're going to delete it. Okay, let's say this e-note's done. We have a picture in here. We have our logo. Everything looks great. It's not done, but let's just say we were done. Well, first of all, I'm going to make sure my work is saved. And then I'm going to go to check and preview right here. You can preview it, so that would show you what the e-note is going to look like to other people. That's always a good thing. But I really prefer to see the e-note in my email inbox. So I'm going to press check and preview, and I'm going to do send test. So I send test, and you get the preview, and then you have an option to send this to email addresses. I only use my own email address. I do not put the whole e-note committee in here because sometimes it goes to people's spam. So I send it directly to myself, and then I forward it to the e-note committee from my email address. So I'm just going to press send now. This is just a test email. So this will get sent to my email inbox, and I can look at it from there. And oftentimes I will notice things in my email that I didn't necessarily notice when I was working on the e-note. So I'll come back into the e-note, make a few more tweaks, and then send it to myself again. I know when we used MailChimp, there was actually a limit on how many test emails you can send. I don't know of any with Constant Contact as far as I know, so you can probably do that as many times as you like. So I'm going to exit out of here. Let's say this whole e-note was reviewed by the committee, everybody loves it. Let's go to how we would send this. So we're going to go to the continue button up here. Okay, so we have some options here. Most of our things go to our full database. Our full database, the number's right here. It's 4,944. I have got to tell you guys, the reason that I am resistant to send a lot of e-notes is because we lose subscribers almost every time we send out an e-note. This number was well over 5,000 last year, so that's unfortunate, but what can you do? The database is obviously not just DRA members, it's students, it's people who have signed up in the past, it's people from out of state, anybody who has opted into our emails. So I'm going to click full database. If you needed to send this to somebody specific, let's say it was just your district or voting members in a certain district or only students or teachers or something like that, we can go over how to create a list. There's a way to import contacts into Constant Contact, and you can make a specific list like District 1 or instructors or whatever it might be. As you can see, we have one that's labeled students and then convention exhibitors. So we have different lists. So now we're going to click, so we clicked on full database, that's who it's going to, and we're going to click schedule for later. I very rarely will send anything immediately. I like to give myself a little bit of buffer time just in case we say, oh my God, something needs to be changed. So schedule for later. So I'm going to schedule this for tomorrow. So I'm going to click on the calendar there. Okay, so there's the calendar. Today's the 4th. We're going to pick the 5th. And we're just going to keep the time that they have there. But these are always in Pacific Standard Time, so our time zone. So it says 11:55 a.m. Sure, why not? I don't know what this is. Send me early results. I never click on it, so I'm going to unclick it. So we're going to go down, down, down. It just has your to and from name, reply to address. Okay, looks good. Okay, so now we're going to hit this button here that says schedule. Schedule. Now, your email is scheduled to go out tomorrow. And then, after we do that, we go down here. So just keep on scrolling down. And then we have this button. Share this campaign on social media. So this functionality allows us to upload automatically this e-note to our social media pages right within 5 minutes of it hitting email inbox. So it will happen not simultaneously, but within the same universe of time, 5 minutes or so. So we're going to hit schedule posts. And it's going to bring us to another page. Now this is our social media share, and that's where it's going to get shared. Our Twitter, I don't even know who runs this, but whatever. And then our Facebook. So that will be the title, exemption from AB5 deemed top priority for calendar in 2020. And then this is the current thumbnail that it's set to go out with. We don't like this thumbnail, so we're gonna go to this a little icon here and click on it to change the thumbnail that will be shown on social media along with the e-note. So again, I'm gonna pick the capital thumbnail. And maybe I'll pick a different one. I'll pick this one this time. I'm gonna insert it. And there you go. So you can see it's gonna go out with this picture. Now it will tell you the time, because we had the scheduled for 11:55 a.m. It chooses 12 p.m. for it to post to social media. You can alter that if you really wanted, but I think that's reasonable. So we're gonna go up and we're gonna hit schedule. And there you go. It's scheduled to go out. So in under 30 minutes, I'm sorry that was a long video. That's in a nutshell how to use Constant Contact. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks all.